Hey everyone, Fire here, and today I'm going to teach you how to farm one headhunter for every day of the week. Now, I can't really believe that I actually have to say this, but it goes without saying, if you can't play 12 hours in a single session, you're probably not farming a headhunter for that day. Now, some of you might be saying, but Fire, I have a wife, I have kids, I have a job. But let's just be honest for a moment. Most of you probably lost custody of the kids years ago, and the reason you can't find 12 hours a day for PoE is because you're too busy jerking it to internet porn and watching XQC MasterChef VODs. The strat is very simple, and it's as follows. So we're just going to be running any maps, pretty much, that have an open layout, and we're going to be putting in Gilded Metamorph Scarabs with Rusted Expedition Scarabs. On every map, we're going to have double Catalyst Sextants, in addition to the Gilded Scarab from Possessed Monsters Sextant. We're going to be running the Seance node for free possessions. We're going to be running all of the Essence nodes on the tree, and using Remnants of Corruption for additional essences. We're going to be running most of the Metamorph nodes, most of the Expedition nodes, all of the Altar and Eldritch Currency nodes. We're going to be running most of the map nodes, some of the Deli nodes, and then we're also going to be doing the Temporal Bubble combo for Archnemesis, and I'll talk about that a little bit later on. I'm going to be linking a basic and a more advanced tree. The advanced tree is simply what I'm running. It's not mandatory, but the basic tree is mandatory in my opinion, and it's quite simply what we have here. We go up here, we take the Essence node, we come here to take Shaping the Mountains and the extra Delirium Mirror Chance. We go up here and take the other Essence node and then all of the Metamorph nodes up here. We're going to take these Delirium nodes over here. We're going to come up here, take the Essence node, the map nodes, come across here for the Expedition stuff. We're going to be taking Rogue Metamorphs. Now the reason for that is basically they can drop Catalysts, and those Catalysts are going to be doubled as a result of the Sextant. Now we come up here, we get all the Eldritch Currency related stuff over here. Seance is over here, this is mandatory, you need it. Otherwise you're not going to be getting the Gilded Scarabs from Possessed Monsters. We come up here, we get the rest of the Essence stuff, the rest of the Metamorph stuff, and then the rest of the Expedition stuff. That only requires 109 points, and quite frankly, if you have extra points, you could do whatever the hell you want with them. I'm going to be showing you some example loot from a test I did, but we're just going to talk about the loot breakdown before we do. So we get 3 guaranteed Gilded Scarabs per map from Sextants. We can expect 10 to 30 Catalysts per map as a result of the Sextant, as well as the Metamorph Scarabs we're putting in, 3 to 6 Organs, a bunch of Essences. You're going to be getting Expedition reroll currencies and logbooks. You are going to be getting Deception contracts and various blueprints from the Archnemesis combo. We're going to be doing Searing Exarch altars, so you're going to be getting a bunch of those currencies. You're going to be getting other scarabs from the altars. You're going to get a decent amount of Daily Orbs and Splinters, and the reason for that is we're running a bunch of extra Delirium Mirror Chance on the tree. We're also using 2 Sextants and 2 Scarabs, which bumps up that chance naturally, and you're also then going to be getting a bunch of raw currency from various sources. I ran a 12 map test of this strategy real quick, just so that I could take screenshots of the loot to show you exactly what you're expecting from this sort of thing. I didn't do any Archnemesis while doing this, so the amount of loot you see here is actually less than what you can expect when you're doing the strat for real. And I've also included the total underneath each map, basically. Now, some of these totals look like they're inflated, perhaps, and I decided to keep one of the tabs around to show you exactly how Excellence values it. So if you look at tab number 4, this may not look like 133 chaos worth of loot. But if you look at Excellence, Excellence has valued this tab as being worth 115C. And if you add the 18C worth of organs on top of 115, you get 133. So this is actually what it's worth. Now, Excellence may be overvaluing a few things. It's certainly possible that it's counting some of the Rusted Scarabs as being worth 1C or whatever, but there's also a lot of things that Excellence isn't doing. So Excellence is not counting all of the Archnemesis loot that I didn't get, for example, even though they should be in some of these tabs. Excellence isn't counting the Gilded Shaper Scarabs as being worth more than what they are, given the fact that I'm going to eventually Horizon them into better Scarabs, stuff like that. You can also bulk sell City Square as an example for 6C each, and Excellence is valuing City Square as being worth 4C, so I think the valuations here are actually going to be a little lower than what you can expect from a real test. We also didn't drop that many logbooks, so you can go through this in your own time. I've included all of this stuff in the spreadsheet, which I'm going to be sharing for you. There's also a profit breakdown, so just if you want to see how this profit breakdown works, I have the costs of the strat here, and we basically are spending 159C per 12 maps we run. We are making 1,466C back from those 12 maps, we're profiting 1,307 C overall. That gives us a profit per map of 109 Chaos Orbs on average, and then if you multiply that by 14, because 14 is the amount of maps I run per hour typically, then you're getting around 12 Exalted Orbs per hour. Now, for those of you who are out of the loop, the Temporal Bubble combo is considered the new best Arch Nemesis recipe. There are a few different variations going around, and I don't actually agree with the ones that are being circulated. The combo that I'm going to present today, I think, is the best version of it, and that basically is doing Temporal Bubble into Treant Horde, into Necromancer, into Rejuvenating. You've probably noticed that we don't include Mirror Image in this. Mirror Image is the one that adds Scarabs into the mix. Now, the reason we don't do Mirror Image is because the game seems to consider Scarabs as being worth more or being rarer than reroll currencies, and as a result, you end up getting less reroll currencies and more Scarabs. Scarabs are heavily devalued, so I don't consider a recipe that's going to cock my loot basically as being better. I think this is the best combo. It's very simple. It requires only 11 components. You can do quite a lot of these, and especially if you're doing different kinds of maps, then you're going to be able to complete many sets of these. So for this strat, I'm basically just running any open maps. I don't have a favorite map. I run some city square, some coves, some promenade for the double bosses for the sake of metamorph, but sometimes I'm just running other maps. Any open layout for Expedition is good. It doesn't have to be a 2-boss map, so I even put Cemetery into the mix sometimes. And if you do a wide variety of maps, you're going to be able to complete many of these combos. Now, I've also included an example of what you can expect from this combo. So this is just 4 of these combos, right? So 4 Temporal Bubbles, 4 Treant Hordes, 4 Necromancers, 4 Rejuvenating, and we got 5.2 Exalts worth of loot. It's pretty consistent. You're not really relying on any big drops. And this evaluation of the loot doesn't even include all of the other blueprints and all of the other contracts. It's only counting the 3 deception contracts and the 3 unusual gem blueprints that we got out of it. But yeah, it's very valuable, very consistent loot, and you're kind of trolling yourself if you're not doing it. Now, I said before you can expect to make a minimum of 12 Exalts per hour doing this strat, and here's why you can do better than me. So I didn't do any Arch Nemesis combos during my test, as I pointed out. The evaluation, the 12x per hour, was taken without any Arch Nemesis loot. Now, you saw how valuable the Arch Nemesis combo was. That's obviously going to add quite a lot of money to your actual Exalts per hour when you're doing this strat for real. I also wasn't picking great layouts for altar spawns, so for those who aren't aware, City Square doesn't spawn a lot of altars. Now, it is good because you can run straight to the boss and guarantee that the altars you do come across are going to be a little better, but it doesn't spawn that many to begin with, so it's not that good, and that matters a lot when you're doing Searing Exarch. Searing Exarch spawns less altars naturally than the Eater of Worlds, so running maps that spawn a lot of altars naturally tends to be a lot more valuable when you're running the red currency. Now, you can also probably clear maps faster than I am. I'm doing about 4.5 minutes per map, and that's just because I waste a lot of time when it comes to Expedition. I'm kind of an idiot, and I watch shows on my other screen. I'm currently watching Monk at the moment, so I'm too busy watching my show and not really reading the Expedition stuff, so I put down all of my explosion, my explosive markers, and then I will come across one that says increased quantity of Expedition logbooks, and then I have to redo my whole thing. I waste a lot of time when I do these maps, and you could probably easily cut these maps down to 3.5 minutes each. I think I can't see why you wouldn't be able to run more than 14 maps per hour on average. Now, I've mentioned this, you can Horizon Orb your low value Gilded Scarabs for better ones. So you put 2 Gilded Shaper Scarabs into the vendor window with 1 Horizon Orb, and you get back a random Gilded Scarab. Most of the time, you're going to be making money doing this, especially since stuff like Gilded Shaper Scarabs are pretty much worthless. Now, you can also bulk sell a lot of these maps. I pointed this out as well. Excellence was valuing City Square at being worth 4C each, but you can bulk sell them for 6C, and if you get lucky, even 7C. Now, everything in Excellence was valued at the singles prices, but if you're selling in bulk, so if you do this strat for a couple of days and then do a big liquidation at the end of it, you're going to be able to get more money for each thing that you're liquidating, so that's going to bump up the amount of money you're making, across the board, basically, and then on top of that, I didn't get lucky with any big ticket drops during the test, so I didn't drop any raw Exalts. I think I dropped 1 boss logbook, which I guess was lucky. That maybe inflated the amount of money I was making by a little bit, but I was not getting substantially lucky in any kind of way. So you can expect when you're doing it, you're going to be making way more money than I was. If you like this video, give me a like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one.